How now brown cow eating the green grass.
Because as we know, there are known knowns. There are things we know. We also know there are known unknowns. That is to say, we know there's some things we do not know. But there are also unknown unknowns. The ones we don't know, we don't know.
Yes. It's the Raphael Dawkins with the Combat Radio. Hello and welcome to this broadcast coming to you live, I tell you, from Middle Earth, England. Okay, we just said goodbye to us. We're currently in mourning. England is currently in mourning, saying goodbye to Queen Elizabeth II. And did I share that? Did I share that picture? Did I share that picture or not? But we'll get into that in a second. Hold on. Boom. Let's get the picture up. We're sharing that. Let me drop the link. As I tell you about today's show, tonight's show. Tonight, wherever your location dependent. It's tonight over here in the UK. It's 30 minutes. It's 21:30 hours over here in the UK, England, Middle Earth. And looking at a bunch of things. Wolipa things, Akokosbaga things. Looking at a bunch of things, bunch of topics. We're looking at Benn, or should I say Eubank Jr. versus Benn. They've been going back and forth this week. Quite entertaining it was too. We're looking at frankwarren's latest utterances regarding and pertaining to Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua. Warren's come out and said that, Tyson and I, we just don't feel it's appropriate at the moment, out of respect for the royal family, to continue the negotiations. So we're putting the negotiations on pause, and then we'll pick up on the negotiations. Well, how does that work then? How does that work when you're on a deadline? Last thing we heard from you, Mr. Warren and Tyson Fury, last thing we heard from you was that there was a deadline. They had to get back to you within 24 hours, 48 hours. OMG. I had to get back to you. So how are you delaying it now? Where have you found the time to delay it? Unless, of course, you're talking a total, utter crock of you know what. A crock of you know what. Okay, we got people up in the building. Hello and welcome. What am I looking for right now? Link is in the chat. There's a picture. If a picture tells 1,000 words, where the hell's that picture I was looking for? Didn't I send it over? Let's have a little looky before we get into this thing. Oh yeah, there it is. Boom. Oh no, that's not what I want to do. It's not what I want to do. All you hear is a click, 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 click. Let's get over there. Okay. QJ. Let's go with that. And what am I doing now? Let's do the sound check. Remember, there's a whole heap of things, a crocus bag of things that we're looking at tonight. Okay. Let's get rid of that. Let's do the sound check. Let's make sure everything is cool and copacetic. Let's kill the music just for not that. Just for a moment. And let's listen. Just for a moment. All you hear is click, 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 click. Yes, yes, yes. That's most agreeable. I like the balance. And you know we got to get the balance right. Okay, let's get into this thing. What's going on? Let's drop that down. Okay, boom. There it is. Okay, so let's have a quick look in the chat. TKO22 up in the building. Yes. Hello and welcome to the Raphie Dawkins Combat Radio Nation. What's going on? Fight Doctor up in the building. Bruce goes up in the building. Christian NWO. Will AJ dare to be great by facing the best fighter in his division? If AJ actually takes this fight, his reputation will go up, regardless of if he gets absolutely smacked. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay. I know there's at least one cat out there who wants to get in on this. So the link is there. I ain't gonna tarry. I'm not gonna tarry. Let's pin that. We're just gonna get straight into it. There's a bunch of things we're gonna talk about, but let me just get straight into it. Okay. Let's get the heading. What's the heading? What's it gonna be? Warren. What's the title of the damn thing anyway? Warren. Hold on. It's there. Tyson and I just don't feel it's appropriate at this moment. Out of respect for so what is it? What is that? That's Warren delays. Joshua negotiation. Fury Joshua negotiations. Warren delays Fury Joshua negotiations. How are we going to do that? Are we going to have that big? Or are we going to have it scrolling? Are we going to have it big like that? Okay, let's have it big like that. Okay, let's get into this straight away. No messing around. Okay, so this Fury and Warren ruse game that they're playing. This is my take on this thing. Okay, so it's a game that Fury and Warren are playing. It's a number of ruses. It's not just one ruse. It's a number of ruses. Ruse plural that they're playing. When it comes to Joshua, I mean, let's look at the title. Let's look at the title piece. Let's look at the title of this piece. Clout chasers and dream chasers. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you have clout chasers, and it's ironic. It's ironic that Tyson Fury is the WBC champion, but yet he's a clout chaser. He's still a clout chaser. Let's cut to the chase. Let's cut to the quicker things. The quicker the matter. Let's cut to the quick. Okay, Tyson Fury is the WB. Hold on. Why is my thing not even? Hold on. Let's get this. What is this? Is this thing not even? What is this? This side? Yeah, that's better. Is that better? Is that better? Yeah. We need things symmetrical. Is that right? Okay, I think it's acceptable. Okay. Let's share the screen again. Let's do this. Where we at? Yeah, there it is. Okay, so even though well, I think she got booed at the UFC. I think when they mentioned Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, I think boos rang out in the UFC. So the UFC, the American crowd, they don't really stand too much on ceremony. Anyway, okay, so Tyson Fury, even though he's the WBC champion, he's still in Joshua's shadow. I think Tyson Fury has almost a mental condition when it comes to Anthony Joshua. Deontay Wilder's in the same boat. Are they dream chasers or clout chasers? In this game, you have dream chasers and you have clout chasers. Of course, they've been chasing a dream, but in the meantime, when it comes to Anthony Joshua, I'm afraid to say that both Deontay Wilder, who's mentioned Anthony Joshua's name, I'll talk about him in a second. He's been mentioning Anthony Joshua's name. He's been eating of Anthony Joshua's name, just like Tyson Fury. They eat whenever Anthony Joshua has a fight. They have his name stuffed down the back of their throats. Both Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, and Tyson Fury got his name firmly stuck in the back of their throats alongside Frankwarren. So let's get this clear. I was over at the Boxing Voice the other day, and I said very clearly and unambiguously that Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua, percentage split wise, is a 50-50 fight. And some people thought, Raphie's just trolling. He's just trolling. But no, I'm not trolling at all. Because economically, when it comes down to economic value, when it comes down to fighting skill, if you had to put a percentage marker on that, you'd have to say, well, Tyson Fury looks like he's better right about now. Obviously, you can't say that categorically until the both of them get in the ring together. He's the WBC champ. And Anthony Joshua just lost for a second time to Alexander Usyk, the pound-for-pound Ring Magazine rated #1 pound-for-pound boxer in the world. But economically, it's a 50-50 percentage split, realistically. As a matter of fact, you could even say 55-45 to Joshua, but people would lose their goddamn minds. What's this? Come on. I expect my belt to be clearer than that. There we go. Economically, you could say it's 55-45 for Joshua, but even they wouldn't ask for that. Even though that would reflect the true economic value. Even 40-60 for Joshua, even coming off a loss, if we're talking realistic, they're not going to push for that because they know that, some people would lose their goddamn minds to think the guy who's just coming off 2 losses is still a greater economic power. than the current WBC champ. But hey, it's true. And if Deontay Wilder was champ, Joshua would still, coming off 2 losses, still be a greater economic power than him too. That's just economics. We're not talking about feelings. We're not talking about emotions. Sometimes you got to put your emotions to one side. We're just talking about economics. And economically, Anthony Joshua is just a greater economic entity. So even coming off a loss, he has greater economic value than both Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. Raphie just giving it to you straight. Just giving it to you straight and trying to get you to understand. Trying to get you to understand the economics. That economically, well, trying to get you to understand why Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder are still clout chasing Anthony Joshua. After all this time. I think there's a song that starts like that. After all this time. Can't remember what song it is. Does anybody know? Or did I just make it up in my head? After all this time. Does that tune, melody, refrain ring a bell for you? Leon Figures up in the building.
Peace, Mr. Dawkins. Peace to the chat. Well, thank you for welcoming me on.
100%. Come on. Good to have you on, of course. Good to have you on. Anthony Joshua, these guys, what the Raphie is saying, is that these cats, man like Frankwarren, man like Tyson Fury, man like Shelly Finkel, man like Deontay Wilder, still clout chasing Anthony Joshua after all this time. That's what I'm saying. What says the Leon Figures?
It's something that they will always do it. And the second they stop doing it is when we will really have reached a point where they have actually outgrown him.
Eclipsed him.
Something that Tyson Fury said on one of his Instagram rants when he said, "Come and get some of this Gypsy King money." And it's like Joshua said to him. He's always mentioning I'm a bodybuilder, and Joshua said it's because he wants to have a bodybuilder's figure. That's why he keeps saying that. That's why he keeps doing it. You know, he wants to be the one that people go to for money, but it's beyond that. With him, he's more concerned about image, and I think it's because he's been on the, after his comments that he made about people of certain sexual orientations, about women and it being in the kitchen and all these remarks. When everyone turned on him, I think he felt the backlash of public opinion. So now he's so focused on everybody controlling what they think about him. He's just doing these kind of antics, and all his all his fans who he talks about in the public, I think he holds them in disdain. I think he's thinking, yous are the same people that hated me in 2015. Yous are the same people that turned on me. Yous weren't speaking up on my behalf. Where were yous? Yous weren't at the airport when I landed in Manchester after dethroning the 10-year reigning champ. None of yous gave me any adulation. Then this bodybuilder comes with half the boxing skill of me, and then he gets all the love, all the attention. The Queen gives him an OBE. Where's his OBE? I think he really holds them all in disdain. But he's thought to himself, okay, I'd hate them all, but I'm gonna be the person they want to get what I want, which is ultimately money. And I'm going to play about with them. That's why he keeps pretending, oh, I'm going to give you an undisputed for the fans. I'm going to fight for free in the UK. He's laughing at people. That's what I personally think. I think he's never forgotten how the public turned on him. I think it's made him change his approach to boxing and to the boxing public. And I think that's why he's free to raise people's hopes that there's going to be an undisputed when he's actually got no chance. Because as I said to you on the last live, when Tyson Fury is making a genuine fight, the fights just get made. Unless, like with Dillian Whyte, when Dillian Whyte is forcing it through a mandatory, there's just an announcement. There's no public this and public that. You just get an announcement.
So, it appears that Tyson. Well, I'm putting this out there. Tyson Fury is racked. This is my analysis. This is my psychological breakdown when I look at the characters at play. This is my psychological analysis. And when I look at their makeup, when I look at their behaviors, what I can tell you is this. From Raphie's point of view, Tyson Fury, even though he's a champion, and even Anthony Joshua just coming off 2 losses, Tyson Fury, I put it to you, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I put it to you that Tyson Fury is still jealous.
Oh, 100%. He reeks of jealousy.
Of Anthony Joshua.
He reeks of it.
And he's not the only one. He's not the only one. Because hold on. Because Deontay Wilder, the American from Alabama, he's another one who is absolutely consumed with jealousy. Okay, he's coming off 2 losses himself? Or is it 2 losses, 1 draw? Yeah, 2 losses himself. But these losses have been of a more severe variety. He's got battered, dropped, and stopped. TKO'd 2 times, knocked out. Not TKO'd 1 time, knocked out the other time. Bang.
I was talking to my daughter about him, and she said it sounds like, just from the outside, that he's got an inferiority complex when it comes to Anthony Joshua. And I said to her, I don't think so, because I honestly think he could beat him in a boxing match. And she said, no, an inferiority complex, that's the whole point. She said, even if somebody is actually better at something than somebody, the complex is so strong that they still have that bit of jealousy towards them. Because I'm like, Anthony Joshua is in the lowest point he's been since the Olympics. You know, and Tyson Fury is still trying to kick him when he's down, because he's still, in his head, he's still looking up at him. Even though he's now got the belt, he's now undefeated, he's still got the lineal, the public see him as better, but he's still himself. When he looks in the mirror and he compares himself to Joshua, it appears that he still has this inferiority complex, which is leading this whole charge.
When Deontay Wilder came to the UK, he saw to sit ringside and commentate on Klitschko v. Joshua v. Klitschko. He said, man, you know, we don't have nothing like this in America. Remember, there's 90,000, 80,000, 90,000 people in attendance. He said, man, we don't have nothing like this in America.
Not for him, they don't, but they do.
This is incredible. Yeah, man, I want to come over here and, you know, maybe even be even bigger. I don't know what maybe possessed him to think he'd be even bigger, because he never really fought nobody. But anyway, so he was infused. Deontay Wilder was infused. He was excited. But then, you know, he went back over to America. And them people, they didn't really have his best interests at heart. Or maybe they did. I don't know. Did they? Didn't they? Who's to say? But what we do know is that he could have had that fight. And then it started, I don't know, I think people got in his ear. People got in his ear and started talking about percentages. No, you're worth more than this, or it's 50-50 or no fight, all that bull-ish. And it's like, well, did they not teach? Did they not teach people over there in America about economic value? Did they not teach? Did they not teach? Did they not teach in economics over there? Did they not teach economic value? If you earn X amount over, say, 3 fights, and the next man earns Y, and X is greater than Y to the power of 3, then X is going to get paid more than Y to the power of 3. So you're looking at 33%, and the next man's looking at what, 77. You know what I mean? To the power of 3. Come on now. Class is in session. Class is in session. Same applies to Tyson Fury. Economic value. Tyson Fury talks about 50-50 or no fight. Tyson Fury didn't even have a belt. Tyson Fury was coming out of so-called retirement, self-imposed retirement, because he wanted to get away from the wild boar meat that he allegedly consumed for the Christian Hamer fight. The fight before the Vladimir Klitschko fight, when he should have been suspended. That fight should be a no contest. But anyway, so these cats have been in AJ's shadow ever since AJ burst upon the scene, and they are jealous to the core. And the reality is that Anthony Joshua is not a lesser economic entity than Tyson Fury. Quite the opposite. So when they're talking about we're being generous and giving you 40, 60, it's actually not the case. Joshua could easily insist on 50-50. Easily. And in a sense he is, because they're saying, well, okay, we'll accept 40-60 for the first fight, but then for the rematch, it's going to be reversed. So in a sense, Joshua is recognizing his economic value, and he is saying 50-50 in a roundabout way, but it still works out to 50-50 over 2 fights. So you can like it or lump it. And then Leon Figures made a good point when Tyson Fury came out with this, oh, do you want some of this Gypsy King money? No, Gypsy King money is smaller than Joshua money. So once again, this whole thing is smoke and mirrors on the part of Deontay Wilder, Shelly Finkel, frankwarren, and Tyson Fury. Because let me say this again, and some people ain't going to like it, but I'm going to say it again, loud and clear. Anthony Joshua, even coming after 2 defeats, is still a bigger economic entity than Tyson Fury and our American friend from Alabama, Deontay Wilder. Still a bigger economic entity. I'm just putting it out there.
Well, he can still dip into that Saudi money well.
Who else has dipped? Which other heavyweight has dipped into the Saudi money?
That's what I mean. So that well is very deep. It's a huge resource. So until the others can dip into that well and get 80 million after coming off a loss, what did he get for January Ruiz loss? Then he got however many millions coming off of the Usyk loss. Joshua can still go to China, fight Zhilei Zhang, and I bet he'll get comparable money there. Coming off of 2 losses, he's got options.
He's the greater economic entity. He still is, and I'm not mincing my words here. Sometimes people beat around the bush, but I ain't mincing my words. This is the way it is. This is reality. And I'm gonna get into some of these comments. Shout out to Mr. Dawkins and the Anthony Joshua. Well, it's not cheerleading, it's just facts. I'm just spitting facts. These are just facts being said, being spoken. Just pure and simple facts. When it comes to delusion, you gotta look to your boy over there from Alabama. Now, if you're talking about delusion, that's one hell of a deluded mother.
I do feel that boxers need some form of healthy delusion to be able to step in the ring. But you know, it can go a bit far. It definitely can go a bit too far. I mean, I get why Fight Doctor says there's an Anthony Joshua cheerleading contingent, because Joshua does have his strong supporters, but I try and always give a balanced opinion, not always correct, but it's my opinion. And as I've said, in the ring, I think Fury, you know, especially now, I think Fury beats Joshua. And I did say that financially Joshua's on the decline, but even on the decline, he's still he's still able to bring in bigger purses.
I would say dipped. I would say dipped is a better word than decline.
I don't know. It's only because I'm looking at since the Povetkin. I mean, yeah, COVID's coming as well, and that would have hit sales.
I would say a dip.
View buys.
I would say a dip.
It has been a steady. Well, since because when was his record? Was it Klitschko 1.2 million view buys? It's been dipping since then. It's that's what I mean by, you know, it's been a constant thing. He's not hit those highs again. Well, and, if he was able to get a Fury fight over the line, I think it'd surpass it, and then we could say, yeah, then we could call it a dip. But at the moment, while the sales are decreasing, he wasn't able to fill out Wembley with Povetkin when Fury and Dillian White did. Then he went to a smaller stadium in Tottenham. He filled that out, but that was significantly smaller, comparing 90 or 100,000 at Wembley to 60,000 or 60 whatever thousand at Tottenham. You know, but then again, I don't know. The purses were bigger. Then he got those huge Saudi money purses. Yeah, it's an interesting topic. It's one that takes great analysis. But whichever way you look on it, Fury's biggest paydays will involve an Anthony Joshua fight. For him sitting there saying, "Come and get this Gypsy King money," in all honesty, he's really going after the Joshua money.
The Joshua money is bigger than the Gypsy King money. So why would Joshua be going for littler money, smaller money?
I mean, I would say I still do stand by my thingy that it was a generous offer, only because it would propel Joshua back into title contention, whereas he was looking at a 2-year, possibly longer rebuilding process. That's why I said it was generous, because before that offer came in, or before this talk, Joshua was looking at, and I think that was part of his outburst in the ring, knowing that there's no rematch, he's no longer in title contention, there's no longer a chance of the belt going up in the air, and he gets to stand in the ring and actually have a real impact on trying to get it back. And this was a lifeline thrown to him. That's why I think it was a generous offer. I get what you're saying, is in a sense of Joshua's the one that generates the money. It was generous in the sense of it's the belt. Having another shot at a belt, getting right back up there with belts, is where I say the generosity in the offer came from.
Generosity. Tyson Fury and the word generosity don't go hand in hand to me. They don't. The word generosity and Tyson Fury don't belong in the same sentence.
Well, I do need to also say that I did always think that the offer wasn't a genuine one for the fight. So I had to put that as my cameo. But talking about the offer itself, I'll still stand by that. I think it was a generous offer, if it was a genuine offer that was being made.
I don't think a fake offer can be generous. I think that's a contradiction in terms, respectfully.
No, I was separating the two. I was saying, one, looking at the figures, is it a generous offer? Are those figures generous? 60-40 and then 50-50, are those generous? I said yes. Whether it's a real offer or not, in reality, no offer is no offer. So there is no generosity, because I don't think it is a genuine. But if it was genuine, looking at the numbers aside, that's why I was separating the two.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. I think it's a bogus offer. So there ain't no generosity involved. Ain't no generosity involved in a bogus offer. And how could you and furthermore, from a boxing standpoint, even if the offer was genuine, which I don't believe it is, I think it's a clout chasing offer. That's why it's in the title, Clout Chasers. Clout Chasers and Dream Chasers. We're going to get
Absolutely. That otherwise Tyson Fury wouldn't be doing every hour Instagram posts, and
boom.
it's the equivalent of chasing. I mean, you know, it's the light district of chasing. You know, he's proper whoring himself out. Excuse my language. Is proper.
It's the epitome of clout chasing. Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, the epitome of clout chasing, and then we have our dream chasers. And we're going to be talking about different characters. And then we're going to be talking about dream chasers shortly. I just want to address some of the comments in the chat. Let's have a little looky. I already addressed one. Let's have, what's this here? Will AJ dare to be great by facing the best fighters in the division? Well, he's faced more top 10 Ring Magazine top 10 fighters in the last 5 years than Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury put together. So hopefully that answers your questions. And remember, they're the ones who have declined him. Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, they're the ones who have declined him. Deontay Wilder saying, I turned down more money to fight Anthony Joshua, to fight you. Talking to Deontay Wilder. Remember that. Never forget. Never forget. Let's go for another one. Yeah, absolutely. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that share button. Okay. What's this here? AJ's team always found a way to avoid the... Well, that's a bit strange when it was Deontay Wilder who walked out of the DAZN office after being made an offer of astronomical money. $100 million for 3 fights. $20 million for Dominic Breezel. $40 million for 1 fight with Joshua. $40 million for a rematch with Joshua. $100 million. He walked, and to this day, how many years ago was that? He still ain't made $100 million. $100 million. So that was very, well, you decide.
I mean, yeah, Wilder is a special case of delusional. I mean, his latest Fight Hype interview, he's still talking about the cheating and everything else. It's semi-concerning.
Yeah, delusional to the extreme. Talking about...
I have to commend him to be able to achieve what he did with a straight right hand. His game plan was to be tough, be athletic, line it up, hit that straight right hand, give away rounds when needs be, and trust in that belief of getting that straight right hand. I got to give him credit for doing what he did. But yeah, after taking a loss, it affected him really badly, and it's getting borderline concerning. But in the ring, I still find his fights exciting. I still think he's in exciting bouts because it's watching a guy get outpointed. He's tough. He can take a punch. Takes him a lot to nail him to the canvas. He always gets back up, and he's also got the option of unleashing that straight right and knocking somebody clean out. I do find his fights exciting.
Well, I would find it more exciting if he was up against top competition, but very rarely is he up against top competition. So that's what limits my excitement factor. I hear what you're saying, but he's not up against the top guys. He rarely fights the top guys. That's the problem. If he was on a consistent diet like Joshua, if he was on a consistent diet to top 10 guys, then I might feel differently about him. But Christian NWO says, but I suppose AJ's career was more about making money than legacy. Well, once again, sorry to bring facts into the equation. But once again, the simple retort is, and the simple fact of the matter is, Anthony Joshua has fought more Ring Magazine top 10 fighters in the last 5 years than Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury put together. So that shoots down that claim.
I think he built his ability to make money off of chasing legacy, collecting belts.
Boom.
You know, I think that goes along. And you know, when you look at all the greats that have become cash cows, they've been belt collectors.
Boom.
Look, Canelo, Floyd, Joshua, Pacquiao, belt collectors, and fans that are willing to buy pay-per-views. And that's where Wilder has fallen short. His fans are not willing to buy pay-per-views. They're streaming fans, very vocal online, but they don't genuinely support him.
Well, I can't blame them. Look who he's fighting next. He's fighting a sparring partner. Look who he's been fighting. I can't blame Wilder fans for not supporting his PPVs, because his PPVs, for the most part, have not been PPV worthy.
No, if we look at some of the channels that, as to coin Fight Doctor's phrase, the Deontay Wilder cheerleading contingent, some of their channels are huge. So if all those members were to buy a pay-per-view, you know, sometimes, you know, it's some of Wilder's pay-per-views have been smaller than the channels.
Dang.
So you think if they can be that vocal, then really support him.
Dang.
And genuinely support him, not just online insulting people, getting into arguments. Buy his pay-per-views. Instead of trying to argue with people saying he deserves 50-50 or he's bigger because he's American, buy his pay-per-views, because it's embarrassing to let some guy from the UK, 1/50th the size of America, outperform you.
For real. Now we have a visitor. We have a guest. It was only a matter of time. He couldn't help himself. But let me tell you this, my friend, before I let you on. No trolling. I'm going to answer certain questions that you're going to ask now ahead of time. Now, he's going to ask me, who was Anthony Joshua beat? Well, he beat Charles. Which champions of Anthony Joshua beat? Well, he beat Charles Martin, who was a champion. He beat, what's his name? Joseph Parker, who was a champion. He beat Vladimir Klitschko, who had just prior lost his belts to a guy who should not have been in the ring with him, to a guy who should have been serving a suspension. And I ain't going to waste the people's time with those questions. That's why I've answered them in advance. Okay, so those questions have been answered, and you ask those questions every time, and every time the answer is the same. But I ain't wasting people's time in regurgitating, going over stuff that we've already been over. So that is just to be clear. If you got any fresh points you wish to make, then that's perfectly fine. But in comes, let him introduce himself.
Fight Doctors in the house on Rick James status, as always. Good afternoon, evening, gentlemen.
Evening, peace, welcome.
Good evening to you. Hello and welcome to you. But uno momento. Let me just finish up here answering people's questions, concerns. Now that Usyk has the belt, I don't doubt that the unification will finally happen. I think Usyk will try and fight both Fury and Wilder. Yes, I don't see Wilder's in the equation, but definitely Fury. Let's have a look. Okay, like, subscribe, comment, and share. Fury, not generous, just greedy, and thinks AJ is at a low point trying to take advantage of a man coming off a loss. We all know in boxing terms what should happen when you're coming off a couple of losses. You need to go back into a rebuilding phase. So Fury, try and take advantage. I'm sure Joshua will jump at the chance to punch Fury up in his head side. But we all know what should really happen after you come off a couple of losses. You should rebuild. But anyway, let's have a look. 60% versus AJ gets Fury more than 80% versus anybody else. Absolutely 80, 90%.
Well, I don't know, excluding the Usyk, maybe they can find somebody to put up a nice site for Undisputed for Usyk. But failing that, yes, I agree.
Indeed. Okay. And in comes the man like the Fight Doctor. Talk to me. Fight Doctor. But remember, those points that I just made, those are repetitive points that you make, and the answer is always the same. So, other than that, those points, please continue.
So, I have a question. Who are, in your opinion, Mr. Dawkins, Mr. Figures, who are the two best heavyweights on Anthony Joshua's resume?
The two best heavyweights on Joshua's resume. Well, actually, let me pull up his stats. Anthony Joshua. Where is it? Oh, I got it right. Joshua. That's ridiculous. Yeah, there he is. Okay, let's share this with the people. Dem. Stop that. Share this. Boom. Okay, I think you should be seeing what I'm seeing now. Okay, let's scroll. What's that? Scroll. What is that? Okay, where are we? Anthony Joshua. We say the best fighters he's fought. Alexander Usyk has to be the best fighter that he's fought. And Alexander Povetkin is one of the best. So let's have a look.
So, in your opinion, who are the two best?
No. I'm going through the best fighters he's fought. You have to be patient. Alexander Usyk is one of them. Alexander Povetkin is one of them. Joseph Parker is one of them. Vladimir Klitschko. Yeah, so I think I would have to narrow it down. Dillian White just fought for the WBC championship. So we're looking at the top fighters, Vladimir Klitschko. Joseph Parker, Alexander Povetkin, and Alexander Usyk. That's Usyk is one of them. Alexander Povetkin is one of them. Joseph Parker is one of them. Vladimir Klitschko is one of them. Yeah, I think that's my top four. I mean, some people would say, yeah, I think that's my top four. Yeah. Alexander Usyk. I mean, Andy Ruiz is going to be fighting. The winner of Wilder Helenius.
So my question is,
Ruiz is going to be WBC number 1 or number 2 right about now.
Okay, so my question is, can you narrow it down to two? Who are the two best heavyweights on Joshua's resume?
Well, I would find it difficult to narrow it down to two. Alexander Usyk, I can narrow it down to 4. I'd say Usyk.
Yeah, this is what happens because he's got a bit of a deeper resume. He doesn't have two standouts.
It's difficult. His resume is deeper, so it's difficult to just pick two because you see, the thing is that Andy Ruiz right now is WBC number 1 or 2. I think he's number 2 right, WBC number 2 right now. Deontay Wilder's WBC number 1 challenger. So Andrew Ruiz is a top fighter.
All right, so let me be more specific. In terms of their overall resume at heavyweight, at the time Joshua fought these particular fighters, because you're talking about Andy Ruiz right now. I'm talking about at the time Joshua fought them. When you consider their overall resumes, their overall accomplishments, in that sense, who are the top 2 heavyweights on Joshua's resume?
Well, I couldn't narrow it down to 2. I mean, to be honest with you, it's 5. It's 5. It's Alexander Usyk. It's Andy Ruiz. It's Alexander Povetkin. That's 3. It's Joseph Parker. That's 4. It's Vladimir Klitschko. That's 5. And I mean,
so is it?
Yeah, that's 5.
So are you trying to convince us, the listening public, that somehow Joseph Parker is as an accomplished heavyweight as was Vladimir Klitschko at the time Joshua fought both of these fighters?
No. Okay. Well, let me put them in rank.
Because that's the question.
Let me rank.
In that sense,
let me rank them. Let me rank them, and then you can pick who you think's the number 2. Okay. So by rank, I will go with Andy Ruiz 5, Joseph Parker 4, 3 Alexander Povetkin, 2 Vladimir Klitschko, and 1 Alexander Povetkin, although you can switch those around if you so wish. But that's my top 5.
Okay, so 1 and 2 on your list are Povetkin and Vladimir Klitschko, right?
You could say that, but they're interchangeable.
Okay, all right. Hold that thought. Now, let's flip to Deontay Wilder for a second. Could you bring up his resume?
I most certainly can. Well, no, we're not gonna, Malcolm. We're not going over old stuff that we've gone before. I've already told the fight doctor I won't be entertaining that. As long as it's new stuff, I will entertain new stuff. Where are we? Let's go, Deontay. Yeah, Deontay what? Deontay Brown? Who the hell is Deontay Brown? Never heard of him.
Okay, now, using the same criteria, please rank the top 2 or 5, at your discretion.
Yes.
The top 2 or top 5 heavyweights on Deontay Wilder's resume.
Okay, let's go top 5, shall we? Well, I'll go Tyson Fury number 1. Luis Ortiz. No.
It's going to get a bit silly after 3, I think.
It's going to be tricky with this guy because his resume is so thin. It might really literally be just 2.
Listen, I only need the top 2. All I need is the top 2.
I'll give you 3. Because his resume is thinner, so it's going to be more difficult. So it's Tyson Fury number 1. Number 2, we'd have to go for. Could we go for Bermain Stavern, or is it? Number 2 is a toss-up between Bermain Stavern, the first fight, and Luis Ortiz, but I think it's going to have to be Luis Ortiz because Luis Ortiz has been consistently in the top 10, whereas Bermain Stavern was not consistently in the top 10. So it's Tyson Fury and Luis Ortiz. Tyson Fury 1, Luis Ortiz 2, and in 3rd place it would have to be Bermain Stavern, the first Bermain Stavern fight. Bermain Stavern, and that was in 2015. Okay. So that's top 3.
Okay, 4 and 5, we're going to look at scraps.
Okay, so so in Deontay Wilder's case, top 3 we have is Fury, Ortiz, and then Stavern, right?
Yes.
And then for Anthony Joshua, the top 3 were Povetkin or Klitschko, Povetkin, and who was number 3?
No, the top 3 for Joshua was number 1, or interchangeable number 1, depending on your taste. Alexander Povetkin or Vitaly Klitschko.
Okay, so let's go 1A and 1B. Klitschko and Povetkin.
Klitschko. No. Klitschko and Alexander Usyk. That's 1A, 1B. And who's
So you're saying that at the time, so let me get this straight. You're saying that at the time Joshua fought Usyk in the first fight, right?
Yeah.
Usyk was more accomplished at heavyweight than everyone else.
No. I'm saying
okay, but that was the question.
I'm saying it's up to your taste who you have as number one. To me, it's either Usyk or Vitaly Klitschko.
All right, but I don't think you understand the question. The question is,
listen, I'm saying you take your pick. To me, it's Vitaly Klitschko or Usyk, who's the number one best fight. Did you say best fight?
No.
Did you say
the
best
question.
fight?
The question was.
Yeah.
Who is the most accomplished heavyweights? When you look at Joshua's resume, at the time Joshua fought them, who were the most accomplished heavyweights?
Okay, if you're saying that, then okay. So the most accomplished. Well, that's a different question. So that's Vladimir Klitschko number one. Vladimir Klitschko number one. Alexander Usyk number two. And Alexander Povetkin number three.
So wait.
Number four.
Wait. You put Usyk in number two as the second most accomplished heavyweight that Joshua had fought.
It's flexible, my friend. You can have it how you want.
Okay, can you explain? Yeah. All right. So can you explain? Now in the first fight, right? When Usyk fought Joshua the first time, Usyk had only beaten Witherspoon and Chisora. So now are you trying to convince me?
Yeah.
Are you trying to convince us, the listening public, that Usyk is more accomplished at the time of the first fight, was more accomplished than everyone else on Joshua's resume, not named Vladimir Klitschko? Is that your argument?
I can do this thing many ways. We could, if that upsets you.
The question is simple. It's a simple question.
But if that upsets you, I can mix it up differently. I can go Klitschko number one. I can go Alexander Povetkin number two. If we're going for the most accomplished, him being him being a guy who's fought almost everybody, I can go Alexander Povetkin number two. I can go. Where is he? Where's Parker? I can go Joseph Parker number three. I can go Andreas the Punch Ruiz number four. I can go Alexander Usyk if you're just looking strictly at the heavyweight division. I can go Alexander Usyk number five. We can do this so many different ways. So with that latest one going on heavyweight wins, then we can say Klitschko number one. We can say Povetkin number two. We can say Parker number three. No, we can say Andreas the Punch Ruiz number three. We could say Parker number four, and we could say Alexander Usyk number five. There's so many ways we can cut that cake.
Okay. All right. Okay.
How about it?
So all right. So now let's compare the two. Now I only need the top two, right? That's all I need. Top two.
No.
Let me finish. Let me finish. Please.
I'm already giving it to you.
Okay. Let me finish. I'm about to land the plane, if I may. All right. Now, in terms of overall accomplishment, the two top heavyweights that Joshua has faced were Vladimir Klitschko, Alexander Povetkin.
Yeah,
yes,
you can say that.
The top two heavyweights in terms of accomplishment, that Wilder has faced were Tyson Fury, number one, Luis Ortiz number two. Yes.
Well, that's a sorry number two because Ortiz ain't beat nobody.
Okay, but
there's only one. There ain't no two for
Tyson Fury number one. Yes.
There ain't no two.
Tyson Fury number one.
Yeah.
And Luis Ortiz number two.
No, there is no two because Luis Ortiz ain't beat nobody.
Who Luis Ortiz has beat or has not beat is beside the point. All right, we're looking at this. I'm trying to look at this as
but land the plane though.
Objectively as possible.
Land the plane though.
Okay, well, I need you to answer the question honestly and truthfully.
Answer the question.
Okay. Luis Ortiz, number 2, yes?
Luis Ortiz ain't beat nobody. But
That's not the question I'm asking. The question I'm asking is the 2 best heavyweights on Wilder's resume in terms of their overall accomplishments at the time Wilder faced them. Fury 1, Ortiz number 2.
Luis Ortiz ain't beat nobody.
Okay. All right. Now we've established their two most accomplished opponents. Now let's look at losses to these opponents. Right?
Hold on.
Let me finish. Wait.
What about Tyson?
Let me finish. Let me finish. Wait. Hold on a second. Wait. No. Wait. Hold on a second. Wait a minute. Hold on. Now, what you're talking about has nothing to do with the price of tea in China or the topic of discussion at hand. Right now, wait, hold on a second. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Let me finish, please. Now, right now, we are comparing Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. And what I'm looking at is the quality of the opposition. But why?
Why not? He's up there in the conversation. We gotta look at Tyson Fury too.
Tyson Fury is not part of this conversation because
he's part of this conversation.
No, he's not. The reason being is that Tyson Fury is undefeated, whereas Wilder and Joshua have losses.
Well, I beg to differ. I'm asking you the same question you asked me, but I'm asking it to you about Tyson Fury.
Okay, so listen, we can talk about Tyson Fury, and that's fine. But let me finish the conversation that I'm having first. Is that possible?
I want to know who is Tyson Fury's top 5 or top 2 at minimum.
We can listen. All right, look. I know that you're trying to. I understand that you. Listen, I know that you understand where I'm going with this.
I want to know. I want to know.
I'm not sure where you're going with this fight, Doctor. It's taking a hot minute to get there, but
listen. I would love to land this plane, but unfortunately, I keep getting interrupted before I can land the plane.
I want to know who Tyson Fury's top 5.
Listen, we can do all the Anthony Joshua cheerleading that you want. Just let me land the plane first.
Stop prevaricating. Tyson Fury is deep within this.
Listen, you're talking about. I'm not talking about Tyson Fury. I don't know why'd you bring him up. We're talking about Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder.
Who you feel is top Tyson Fury's top 2?
Now, Mr. Figures, I hope that you see what's going on here because Mr. Dawson, of course, is trying to deflect from where he knows that I'm going with this conversation.
I want to know who is,
and he does not want to go there.
I don't know why you're deflecting. You're prevaricating.
So again, are you gonna? So, Mr. Dawkins, are you going to allow me to land this plane or not? Yes or no?
Yes. Once you told me.
All right. So I don't want to talk about. Look, we can talk about Tyson Fury once I'm done landing the plane. Now, may I land the plane?
No. I want to know who. I want the same scrutiny that you're applying to.
I will be more than happy to scrutinize Tyson Fury until the cows come home. Once I'm done with the conversation at hand.
I want that same scrutiny applied to Tyson Fury.
That's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. I'll be more than happy to scrutinize Mr. Tyson Fury as soon as I'm done with the topic that I'm discussing currently.
Just in the interest of clarity, who do you have as Tyson Fury's
Raphie, you're trying to deflect from where I'm trying to go with this conversation.
Kamaru Woods
and
comes through.
I would be more than happy to listen.
If you wish to and bring some color into the chat. What's up, Raphie? It's all good, my friend. We're just trying to get some simple data out of the fight. Doctor is highly reluctant. He's running around the mulberry bush, and it's a simple question that he's asked me, but he doesn't seem inclined to answer the same question. But I've answered that question about 2 fighters. I'm asking you, the fight doctor, to give me your opinion on 1 fighter. I've done it for 2. I'm asking you to give it for 1.
Wilder and Dillian Whyte.
So again,
who is Tyson Fury's top
Raphie,
wins?
Listen, we can talk about Tyson Fury all you want.
I just want to know.
And I will be more than happy to engage in that conversation as soon as I finish my thought. May I finish my thought, please?
Well, just simply tell me who is the top 2.
May I finish my thought, please? Because I have a particular train of thought, and I do not wish to be distracted from my particular train of thought. Now, may I please continue down my line of reasoning?
Okay, don't ask me no more questions. I'm not answering no more of your questions.
That's fine. That's fine. I'll be more than happy to converse with Mr. Figures. Right?
No. Nobody's asking no more questions from you until you've answered the question that I've asked you, which is who.
Okay. All right. Okay. So what's the question? What's the question?
Who are the top 2 wins for Tyson Fury?
Klitschko, Wilder.
I'll go through. Oh, you don't need me to go through. Okay.
No, Klitschko and Wilder. Those are the top 2.
Wilder
Okay. Now that I've answered that question, may I please continue down my line of reasoning? May I land the plane, please?
You may.
All right. Thank you. All right. So now we go back to Mr. Anthony Joshua. Right. In terms of their accomplishments, according to Mr. Dawkins, the 2 most accomplished heavyweights on Joshua's resume are Klitschko and Povetkin. Using the same criteria, right? The 2 most accomplished heavyweights on Wilder's resume are Fury and Luis Ortiz. Yes? Now.
Hold on. He didn't beat.
Now, that's not what I said. That's what you said.
Fury. He's never beat Fury. He never beat Fury.
That wasn't the question. The question was, who are the 2 most accomplished heavyweights?
Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough.
All right. Now, let's look at losses. Yes? Anthony Joshua.
Well, you're going to land the plane.
Wait, let me finish.
You're going to land the plane, so carry on.
I'm landing the plane. Yes, I'm landing the plane right now. The landing gear has been deployed, and we are approaching the runway.
Oh.
Anthony Joshua, when he loses, it is to the heavyweights who are not as accomplished as the most accomplished heavyweights on his resume. Meaning, Anthony Joshua loses to subpar opposition.
Who's the subpar opposition?
Well, by your own reasoning, right? And Alexander Usyk was not as accomplished as Klitschko and Povetkin. Yeah, who you say are the 2 most accomplished heavyweights on Joshua's resume. That's what you said, not what I say.
Hold on, say that again. I dropped
what
out.
I said. What I'm saying to you is that when Anthony Joshua loses, he loses to subpar opposition because the guy. Let me finish. The guys who beat Joshua don't represent the best opponent on his resume.
Who is the subpar opposition? Are you saying?
Usyk is not as accomplished as Klitschko. He's not as accomplished as Povetkin.
I'm not asking for an explanation. I'm asking you a simple question. Give me 2 names. Give me the names. Who are the subpar opposition that Anthony Joshua has lost to?
Usyk.
Yeah.
And Ruiz.
Okay.
Because neither one of those guys, by your admission.
No.
Hold on, wait. Let me finish. Let me finish. Now the question was, who were the most accomplished heavyweights on Joshua's resume?
Don't put words in my mouth.
I'm not. That's what you said.
You are. No.
The question again. What was the question? What was the question I asked?
I've already clarified.
Yeah. So what was the question I asked?
I've already clarified that.
What was the question I asked?
I've already clarified.
Yeah. So again, what was the question I asked?
I have already clarified.
Yeah.
That Anthony Joshua, in his top 5 are Alexander Usyk and Andreas the Punch Ruiz. Now, Alexander Usyk is a Ring Magazine pound for pound numero 1. And Andreas the Punch Ruiz, who you saying I'm not finished. Andreas the Punch Ruiz is now the WBC number 2, if not number 1, number 2 ranked behind Deontay Wilder. My friend, that is not subpar competition.
So once again, the question that I asked you was, who were the most accomplished heavyweights on Anthony Joshua's resume? And who were the most accomplished heavyweights on Deontay Wilder's resume? And you said
there was only one accomplished heavyweight on Deontay Wilder.
And that's fine. And I understand, and that's fine. But again, you said that Alexander Povetkin and Vladimir Klitschko were the top 2 most accomplished heavyweights on Anthony Joshua's resume.
Most seasoned for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Carry on. Carry on. Yeah. Carry on. What's the problem? What's the problem?
The problem is that when Anthony Joshua loses, it's not to the best guys on his resume. When Deontay Wilder loses, it's to the best guy on his resume.
So
also
Anthony
happens to be the best heavyweight in the world.
So Anthony Joshua did not lose to the best guys on his resume. That's a good thing, isn't it?
When the best guys on your resume are 39 and 40 years old, I don't know. You tell me.
Well,
you tell me.
Well, because we're not going to get into any circular arguments again.
You tell me.
You know that.
Listen,
But I like what we just did here.
Okay.
But I like what we just did here because you buried yourself.
I'm glad you asked that question.
You buried yourself in quicksand.
Is it good when you don't lose to the best guys on your resume? I don't know. When the best guys on your resume are 39 and 40 years old, and these are the guys that you're beating.
Do you have a straw?
I don't know.
Do you have a straw?
I don't know.
Do you have a straw? Do you have a straw at your disposal?
I think the one with the straw here is you, which would be the straw man argument, which I have just unwrapped and destroyed. Okay.
I think you need a straw when you're in quicksand.
Yeah.
I think you need a straw because what we have done here is a beautiful thing. What we've done here is a beautiful thing.
So what have we done here? What have we established? I can tell you what we have established. I can tell you exactly what we've established.
Break it down for you.
What we have established is.
No. Excuse me, sir. My turn. Excuse me. My turn, and then it's Leon Figures because you've had a good run. You've had a good run, and now you need a straw. So what we've established here is that there's multiple top ranking opposition to Anthony Joshua's fought, which you already knew. But even the guys that you classify as low grade, the guys that let's just let this sink in. Let this sink in. The guys that you categorize, you, the fight doctor, the guys that you categorize as low ranking, the guys on Anthony Joshua's resume that you, the fight doctor, categorized as low ranking. Where are they? They are number 1 pound for pound according to Ring Magazine, and they are number 2 contender according to the WBCOMG. Leon Figures.
Yes, it was a bit of a flat landing for a doctor. It took us a long time to get there, and I do agree to your point that Wilder's best opponent is better than any of Anthony Joshua's best opponent. At the moment, we can say that there's a very strong case to say that.
Repeat that, please.
That the guy that Wilder lost to is better. So yeah, the one guy Wilder lost to is better than anybody Anthony Joshua's faced. I think that's a good. There's a very strong argument to say that. But
I don't know. Is Fury anyway? It's your turn to talk. My bad. Carry on, please.
But trying to compare losing records isn't the best way to say who's better than somebody else. You know, ultimately, we would have liked them to fight each other, and then we would have known. But it's if it's to use the straw analogy that seems to be going around. It's a little clutching at straws to be saying I lost to a better guy than you've lost to. It's not the kind of, we're talking about one unified champion, one long reigning champion. We should be able to be looking at their resume,
yes,
and having more Anthony Joshua style questions of difficulty of naming top 5s and top 2s. We have to look at top 5s, and it's a shame because I do believe that as limited as Wilder is, I do believe he would have had, if he had fought the Pulevs, Povetkins. He would have had difficult moments like Joshua's had in those fights, but he would have actually, I do believe Wilder would have got the knockouts. And we could be here looking at, having as equally difficult a discussion about Wilder's resume if he had fought them, the level of people Joshua had. And the same for Tyson Fury. It's just a shame that the two of them haven't taken as many challenging opponents as Joshua did. Maybe it's because Joshua's had the multiple belts that he's had to defend and he's had mandatories. Maybe that's why, because when Tyson had the belts, he was stripped. He's managed to convince the world that he took a leave of absence due to mental health. No, he was stripped. I mean, that's like saying everybody being found guilty and sat in a prison cell has mental health. Yeah, you do tend to have mental health when you get caught cheating and you're getting punished. That's not mental health. That's you was cheating, and you got stripped. So yeah, it's just a shame that Fury won't put himself in a position to unify and hold on to unified belts and face mandatories, and the same Wilder didn't, because it would have been a really interesting discussion comparing three resumes that are ocean wide and deep rather than inch wide and deep.
OMG. And in comes the man like the Iron Kong, our man in the Caribbean.
Welcome, Mr. Kong. Welcome.
Yeah, peace to Leon Figures, my guy, the fight doctor, in the house, Rick James status and all that, and Raphie. How you doing, my brother? I know I ain't just walking on more Deontay Wilder talk and Anthony Joshua talk. I know I ain't just walking.
Well, we're gonna bring it to a close. We're gonna bring it to a close. But the fight doctor asked a very interesting question. I have to give him credit. He asked a very interesting. He did. It was a good question. And he said, he asked who was the top two guys that Anthony Joshua fought. And it was difficult for me. So I narrowed it down to a top 5. And it was something very interesting. Something kind of magical happened. Because I had Alexander Usyk in the top 5. I had Andreas, and Alexander Usyk is Ring Magazine #1 right now, pound for pound. We got Andreas the Punch Ruiz, who Joshua is criticized for, but yet Andreas the Punch Ruiz is the guy who's going to be fighting the winner of Wilder versus his sparring partner, Helenius. So Andreas the Punch Ruiz is at least #2 ranked in the WBC. That's top of the top. And then Alexander Povetkin, I had him up there with his resume. And then I had Joseph Parker. Alexander Povetkin knocked out Dillian White quicker than Tyson Fury did, and fought him earlier. And then I had Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker is ranked probably number 2 in the WBO, and I think he's highly ranked in the IBF. So Joseph Parker, ex-WBO champion, is still highly ranked in at least 2 governing bodies, and he's up in the top 10 in the Ring Magazine. So still quality galore. And then Vladimir Klitschko, highly ranked at the time, only recently lost to Tyson Fury when he fought Joshua, and that should have been his loss to Tyson Fury should have been a no contest. So these are all guys who are highly ranked, most of them. They're highly ranked to this day. Alexander Usyk, ranked #1. Andrew Ruiz, WBC #2. Joseph Parker, WBO.
Yeah, so
hold on, no, it's not your turn. It's not your turn, fight doctor. It's not your turn. Still, these guys still highly ranked to this day. So what we're saying is that, and then when we try to look at Deontay Wilder, when we tried to look at his top 5 or even top 2, didn't work. We could only get like 1. There was only one top guy on Deontay Wilder's resume, and that was Tyson Fury. We couldn't even say Luis Ortiz, because Luis Ortiz never beat nobody. Nobody.
I still think Luis Ortiz had qualities and is a dangerous fight, especially at the first.
He never beat nobody. We're not saying that he ain't no good, but
Well,
he never.
wait a minute, hold on a second. We can apply that same criteria to Usyk and Ruiz. Usyk and Ruiz had not beaten anyone leading up to the Joshua fight.
It's not your
Usyk, but facts are facts. Facts are feelings.
It is
Usyk and Ruiz had not beaten a top 10 heavyweight prior to beating Joshua. Facts.
It is not your turn.
FACKTS facts.
It is not your turn to fight, doctor.
I find it odd how you can please. But see, here's a problem, Raphie. You have a double standard where Anthony Joshua's opponents are concerned. A clear double standard.
Can we just go around the panel in a fair manner? Can we do that?
No, because again, you are using a double standard, and it's quite blatant.
All right, doctor. Please.
Now, Raphie, I would think that we could come in and have honest boxing discussion. Okay.
Come on, let's have some parliamentary.
I think parliamentary procedure dictates that we not use double standards, sir.
Iron Kong has just come in. Could we just please have a sense of decorum?
Shout out to the Iron Kong.
Can we have a sense of decorum and can we have some type of parliamentary procedure? For goodness sake. Okay.
That's what I'm asking. Can we have some parliamentary procedure? Yes, sir.
Let's have some parliamentary procedure.
Okay, well, I think that parliamentary procedure dictates that we not use double standards.
It dictates that you mute your mic.
So
that's what
what's good for the goose is good. Ought to be good for the gander.
It dictates that you mute your mic. If you'd be so kind. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. So, Iron Kong, you can come in on that, or you can skip that altogether, and you can go to something like you can talk about what we want to talk about Triple G, Canelo, or what we're talking about the Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank Jr. Those are the next.
I want to talk about the Canelo Triple G and the Chris Eubank Jr. Debacle. That Chris Senior apparently has now inserted himself into the equation and is trying to throw the cat amongst the pigeons. And I need to hear from Leon Figures and you, Raphie. They are scuttled the Triple G fight on the eve of it being signed. I mean, what else? The contracts are, and I mean, I have a problem. So if you finish up the Wilder AJ talk or whatever, go ahead, man. That's cool. I'll be here for a while. I'm shuffling papers, trying to make some orders. So y'all go ahead when y'all.
Okay. Well, I think the Eubank Senior is inserted himself. I think Eubank Senior understands the value of controversy. I think Christopher Eubank Senior, Christopher Livingston Eubank Senior, I think he knows the value of confusion. Confusion brings column inches. Christopher Eubank Jr. said that Senior advised him not to take the fight now. Let it brew, let it develop, let it simmer, let it percolate and become a stadium fight in a year's time. But Christopher Eubank
that's what Junior said, but from what Chris is saying, Chris Senior is saying, you know, he doesn't want his weight cut down to 157 and all this other
I'm aware of that.
Whatever.
I'm aware of that. But what I'm saying is that I'm aware of that. What I'm saying is that the fight's already signed.
Yeah.
So what Senior's doing is adding a confusion element. A confusion element brings more column inches, brings more controversy, brings more attention. So I think that's what, and it's all over the press right now. So I think that's what Senior has done. In reality, do I think the fight's off? No, I do not think so at all. The fight is on, but Senior has come and he's done a very good thing in terms of causing confusion. He's thrown the cat amongst the pigeons. that's going to get worldwide headlines all over the place. Some people, I mean, I see certain people who've used that as headlines for their shows, and ultimately think senior is misleading. Those headlines are misleading. I could have gone with that headline, but I didn't because I think it's misleading. But Christopher Eubank Sr. has achieved his objective in getting those headlines. I don't think it's hypocrisy what senior has done. If you're talking about senior, I don't think it's hypocrisy. I think it's publicity. Leon Figures.
Yeah, the only thing I didn't like that was saying I've already lost one son, I'm not going to lose another. It's a bit of a low blow.
That was bad.
You know, he doesn't get to dictate what his grown son does, what he signs. He agreed to it. So it's and weight cutting is nothing new in boxing. It's been happening. If you know, Amir Khan was saying that when he looked at Canelo, when he stepped in the ring with Canelo had blown up to 175 pounds. You know, weight cutting and people facing bigger opponents. It happens in boxing.
Yeah.
You know, and he's forgetting that his son will be the bigger opponent. So it's it's Conor Benn in more danger, not Eubanks. But I do think it is a publicity stunt, and which is why I think it is low. I don't think it's a genuine concern. It is a publicity stunt, which I do think it is low to mention the death of his other child. I just think some things should be out of bounds when you're promoting a fight. If you're genuinely against it and it's genuine and you want to bring that up, that's one thing. But where I'm thinking it's just for publicity, it's no good for me. It's no good.
Yeah, I think it's unfortunate, very unfortunate. The Fight Doctor, you want to chip in on this one? Have you heard the news? Did you hear? Do you know? Do you hear? Have you heard the news? Have you heard what's the word in Johannesburg? Is the Fight Doctor there?
So no, this is news to me, the whole Eubank situation.
Okay. Let me bring something up. I thought I could have sworn I wrote something up. I could have sworn I had it up already. Chris Eubank, yeah, senior. Billy Joe slams Eubank for potential. Benn. Billy Joe Saunders, he needs to get in a training camp. He needs to fight somebody. Stop worrying about the Eubanks. Chris Eubank. Okay, well, let's pull one of these up. Metro. Chris Eubank Senior insists he will not allow. Okay, let's pull up the Metro and let's share it. Stop sharing that and start sharing this. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. If anybody's watching this, enjoying this, get your super chats in, get your like, hit the like. If you don't do that, hit the like button at the very least. Hit the like button at the very least. Hit the share button at the very least. Feel free to get your super chat in. It ain't no harm. Okay, no harm, no foul. Okay, so it's not going to happen. Chris Eubank Sr. insists he will not allow his son to fight Conor Benn at 157-pound catch weight. Okay. Born rivals, father and son. Okay, Chris Eubank Sr. insists. You see that? Yeah. Insists Junior will not fight Conor Benn at their agreed catch weight. Adamant he will not allow his son to put his life in danger. Eubank Jr. and Benn are set to follow. Yeah, we know that. A catch weight of 157 pounds has been agreed for the bout, with welterweight Benn coming up from 147 and Eubank dropping down from 160, where he has had where he's most recently campaigned. So hold on. 157, hold on, 160 pounds. Oh, that's 3 pounds. That's 3 pounds. So Eubank Jr. is fighting at 3 pounds less.
So wasn't this fight originally supposed to be at light middle?
No, It's supposed to be here, 157. This is what's agreed, 157. But I guess that is like middle. Yeah, 157.
No, 157 pounds is middleweight.
Oh, still middle. 160 pounds. Yeah, it's still middle. So it's 157. It's 157. And so that means he's only really fighting at 3 pounds less than he normally does. Whereas Conor Benn is coming up from 147. So that speaks to Leon Figures' earlier statement.
So I think that Chris Eubank is asking the wrong question.
He's not asking any questions.
Well, no, he's asking a question. He's asking a question. The question he's asking is, why is my son fighting this guy at 157 pounds? That's the question he's asking. He's asking the wrong question. The question he should be asking is, why isn't my son fighting a middleweight instead of a welterweight?
There you go.
That's the question he needs to be asking.
There you go.
Because this fight has stupid written all over it. It was stupid then, and it's even more stupid now. Because now they're asking a welterweight to come up to middleweight when there is a plethora of middleweights for your son to fight.
Yeah.
Mr. Roy Jones Jr. Imitator.
Yeah.
Why not go fight a middleweight? You got Charlo, Andre. Look, there's a long list. Dereyanchenko. I'm sure he'd be willing to fight.
Mm-hmm.
Fight the guys in your division. Mm-hmm. I mean, this fight is a farce. It's a joke. Why are we even? This fight is not worth. It is not worth the time of day. Honestly, it's not. It's stupid. It's dumb. And you're tripping because your son is coming down 3 pounds?
Yeah.
Look, find your son a middleweight to fight, preferably someone in the top 10. Even better, someone in the top 10 with a name.
Someone in the top 10 with a name. Okay. Iron Kong, what are you saying about this?
I think when it was announced first, I had told you, I don't know if Eubank Jr., who has been around, quite some time actually, quite some time. I don't even think he knows what he wants to do with his own career, because he doesn't listen to people. He doesn't listen to his father. He doesn't listen to nobody. He does what he wants to do, and most of the time he's just been wasting time. He went to America. Signed with PBC for 3 years, Raphie, he was?
Yep.
He fought once, maybe, and then he fought Matvey Karabov, and Karabov got an injury, and that was that. Didn't fight over. He was supposed to, people were saying he might fight Charlo over there. That fight never happened. Eddie Hearn had Demetrius Andrade. They floated the idea to Wasserman and them, and they said they're into chasing Golovkin and all this other nonsense. And and then I remember after he fought the guy, I think it's called Marcus. Is that his name, Marcus, or is that a singer?
Yeah.
Anyway, look, Marcus Morrison, and then after that, him and Roy Jones, hey, I think we need to fight Kell Brook. I'm like, what? Kell Brook? And this was when he had also joined him and Calla Sowland on the couch. This was during the COVID time. Oh, we want to have some warm-up fights and have a big fight with somebody like Kell Brook. This was when Kell Brook hadn't, I think, was this before or after he had fought Crawford? Anyway, and I was shocked. I still don't know what Chris Eubank Jr. wants to do with his career. So he's here now, and he's been offered to come. If he beats Conor Benn, it's so what? If he loses to Conor Benn, it's, he's already said he's fit, he has to retire, and all this other nonsense. But it's like, the fight's gonna sell. It's gonna be a big fight, have a lot of excitement. But it's like Chris Eubank Jr. in particular, I'm not quite sure what he sees his career trajectory. You sign with Wasserman, who doesn't have anybody for you to fight. You know, you didn't fight. You're not going to get Triple G because after this fight with Canelo, win or lose, he probably retire. And then what? So, you know, I'm not sure what he wants to do. What, Billy Joe Saunders? Billy Joe Saunders is like a cruiserweight. I don't know what he's doing. So, maybe you know, Leon, could you know, give me some more information on the fight. I don't know.
Yeah. Yes, Leon. Where's Leon? He's away from the mic. Okay, his mic's muted. Okay, so what's going on here? I mean that's it really. I mean that's it as far as Canelo. I mean not Canelo. As far as what's his name, Chris Eubank and Conor Benn's concerned. I mean the fight's going ahead. It's going ahead. Chris Eubank Sr. says it ain't gonna go ahead. I'm saying he's gonna go ahead. Chris Eubank Sr. is not really in the picture. Junior's already said Senior ain't really in the picture. Ain't really talked to him about the fight in a while. He's just come up and said, "Nah, he's pulling the fight." He's not in a position to pull the fight. He don't play that role in Junior's. He don't play that role in Junior's corner anymore. Junior's his own boss now. So Chris Eubank Sr. is not in a position to be pulling no fight. The fight goes ahead as per usual. What's this say? Eubank Jr. bigger opponent than Benn. So I don't know what Eubank is talking about. I guess he's saying that Eubank Jr. is sucked down at 160. But whose problem is that? And he's going to have to suck down even more. But whose fault is that? If he sucked down
he agreed to the weight. He signed for it.
If he sucked down so much, then fight at super middle. But he's not fighting at super middle. He's fighting in the middle.
But Leon, you know apparently every talking rehydration class, when what Tony Sims says, it was Eubank's team who suggested the rehydration class. Already said, okay, cool. I mean, what? Stop, man.
Well, Eubank says that, you know, they were talking about what the weight should be, and then he came up with a compromise of 157. So, I mean, live with it then, and don't complain about it, and don't try to use it as any kind of excuse. I mean, personally, I think I still see Chris Eubank Jr. winning. Still see him winning. He's still the bigger guy. And he's still the more experienced guy. He has been very hilarious. He has been hilarious during the face-off. He's been very funny. But
this has been the first time I've warmed to Junior. It's the first time I've actually warmed to him. I've liked his wit. It's normally laced with so much arrogance, but he's managed to find the combination between arrogance and humor with his one-liners that he's been thrown at Conor Benn.
Yeah, but he's still arrogant for me. I'd love to see Conor Benn smash him. He made a comment, and I thought, oh, I wish Benn would smash him, but I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think he's going to be too much for Benn just at the moment. Benn is the one who chased down this fight, but I think it's not everything that you chase down that's good for you. And I think he chased it down too quick. Where are we here? Well, Fight Doctor, come on in and say your final words, my friend. Say your final words. Talk about your Canelo and your Golovkin before you depart.
Yeah, so they should build that fight as the has-been versus the never was. Because at this point, it's exactly what Alvarez is, a has-been. And Golovkin, of course, Bum Lufkin, the triple duck, is a never was. Never beat anyone of any consequence. Never did anything. At 40 years old, his resume is complete trash. Has beaten no one outside of Danny Jacobs. That's it. This fight is a joke. The fact that DAZN is charging U.S. viewers $85 to watch this crap fight on pay-per-view is an insult. $85 for a fight that is well past its sell-by date.
That's for the Mexicans, isn't it? Is that gonna? How do Mexicans feel about it? Do you know? Have you heard?
I'm thinking that perhaps most of them probably just at this point don't care.
Yeah,
look, Alvarez is coming off of a loss, look bad, and Golovkin in his last fight knocked out a guy who was 16-2. 16-2. And DAZN wants me to pay them $85 to watch this crap?
Don't make sense.
It doesn't make a lick of sense.
Don't make sense.
It's an insult.
It don't make sense.
Yeah. The has been versus the never was.
It don't
$85 pay-per-view.
It don't make sense.
Shell out your hard-earned money, folks, to watch this circus. Because that's what it is. 3 rings and the whole 9 yards.
Okay.
And gentlemen, I'll leave you with that. Thank you.
That was the Fight Doctor. It's got to dip out. Fight Doctor dips out, but hey, that's appreciated that he could take time out of his day and come on in. Certainly had a very interesting conversation when Fight Doctor got me to compare the top wins. I think you're entertained. I certainly was entertained. Okay. The Iron Kong, your views, your thoughts are coming to the close of the show. Coming to close of the show.
Is that the cost? $85 in but you see, you gotta charge them kind of Alvarez and Gennady Golovkin, them start to absorb it on money. This is why boxing gets on. Far be it from me to tell somebody what they're worth when they're actually in a ring fighting for their life. But, when you have to pay people, it then flies back in the face of the consumer. Fight Doctor is correct. This fight is well past its sell-by date. Golden Boy did something shady back then, and they made this double deal with Canelo and DAZN with the Triple G. The only reason DAZN signed Triple G to pay him $50 million to fight Steve Rowe is because they wanted that a Canelo fight was a must. And Canelo kept saying, no, I don't want to do it again. If it had happened back then, and we could have done it via subscription on the original deal. No, you have to pay Canelo this kind of money to keep him off of other networks. I don't know. I mean, for me, it should be free. It's going to be free in my mind. But the Americans and the UK people, by the way, who have to pay pay-per-view, I don't know how much money it's going to be costing. Not much.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's an extra £10 for us.
How much?
I think £10 on top of our DAZN subscription. I think.
Okay, so that's about a couple lagers in yonder pub. The old scruffy horse pub at Shropshire. That's what it is. And my question is, after this, if Canelo wins, bro, what are you gonna do? Because Benavidez wants it. He gonna be there. Then what? That's my question to him. Golovkin should retire, win or lose after this, because he's an absolute embarrassment to boxing for years now. Especially since the zone and refusing to fight Demetrius Andrade over there.
Yeah.
So anyway, Raphael and Mr. Figures, I want y'all to have a good evening.
For real.
If I know you guys are in what is it? A government mandated month of mourning.
Yes, Her Majesty.
So y'all enjoy that mourning period. I keep saying it's really disrespectful for getting buried at violence, but it is what it is. Peace. And good.
Take care, Mr. Kong. Take care.
That was the Iron Kong, our man in the Caribbean. What we saying here? I was just looking to see how much the pay-per-view was going to be. I see it's PPV in the UK. I can see it's pay-per-view in the UK, but it ain't giving me no figures. It ain't giving me no figures, Mr. Leon. Figures. I can't see the figures. Looking at it. So this is pay-per-view. Where's the number? Where's the number? Where's the number? Canelo, the fight. Looking for the figures. Read more. Canelo. Glovkin 3. I cannot see what does Canelo. His own pay-per-view UK. Yeah. So, but I'm saying the American figures. Where are the UK figures?
These ones are right there. In the UK, can stream Canelo versus Glovkin 3 pay-per-view via the Zone app and platform. Yes.
$9.99. There it is. After all that reading, I had to go through all of this to get to that. In the UK, you can stream Canelo v. Glovkin 3 pay-per-view via the DAZN app and platform. Existing subscribers in the UK pay $9.99 for the fight. That's a liberty. New dance subscribers pay $19.99. But that also includes a month worth of access to DAZN's other live events and content. You can download the app for PC, Apple, Android, Fire TV, Roku, and all of that. And all that jazz. Okay, so finally, OMG. Damn, they make you sweat. They make you sweat for it. How does that look up on my screen? The Leon figures. Who you got?
I've got Canelo. Golovkin is definitely on the decline, and although he's going up in weight, which could bolster him a bit, Canelo is coming off of a defeat, very much a wounded animal. It's going to be his most dangerous. I think it's going to be a clear Canelo victory. He won't be a controversial one like the last two.
Yeah. How much do you care? On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you care?
7.
Damn, that's a lot.
Yeah, it is. But just to see, because there's a bit of intrigue with the weight difference for Golovkin. Yeah. Canelo coming off of a loss. He seems to be fighting with a bit of emotion this time. Golovkin seems to be able to get under his skin. Yeah. So we'll see a Billy Joe type performance where Canelo just looks to punish and hurt him. But Golovkin's no Billy Joe. He's going to stand there and take it. He'll definitely come off of his stall in between rounds. Yeah. But I do think it'll be a punishing Canelo win. Punishing. And I think it'll actually do quite well. I think the paying, the casual people have been a bit starved of a Canelo big one and Canelo trilogy. And I think the Zone will do really well pushing this in territories where they're going to pay the big bucks and recoup some of that money they've given to him. So yeah, I think overall will be a success. I mean, will I be paying the $9.99 and getting up at 5 a.m. to watch it, I doubt it. But I will be catching up on the fight, definitely.
Okay. Me, I think that they robbed Triple G in the first fight, and I kind of lost interest after that. I think the second fight, yeah, maybe Canelo got it, but I think I don't like the unfairness. I think he was unfair. I think he was grossly unfair, that then didn't do the right thing and give the man who I believe won the fight, didn't award him the victory. You see, if they would have been honest, who do you think won the first fight?
I edged it for Golovkin.
Okay, so if they'd been, I think most people edged it for Golovkin. If they'd been honest and just give awarded Golovkin the win, he would have made it all. He would have made it. I'd still be interested because Golovkin gets the first one, Canelo got the second one. Now this would be the rubber match. And it would have, I would be more interested, but as it is, I guess I still am interested. Maybe 6.5. I just go a little bit under 7. As it comes, I'll probably be more intrigued. But I really would love to see Golovkin box Canelo's fat face off. Look at his fat face. I would love to see Triple G box Canelo's fat face off. That's just because, in my view, I hate to see a man get robbed. And to me, well, was it a robbery? Nah, but I think that it was maybe not a robbery, but the guy who should have won didn't get his hand raised. The guy who should have won didn't get his hand raised, and that's left me slightly vexed to this day. There's a bunch of other things that I could talk about, but I ain't gonna do it. Because, we need to unwind. These people don't realize when you've done a live show, you need to just sit back at the end of it and unwind. You probably, would you agree with that, Leon Figures?
100%. You do underestimate how much it takes out of you.
True. Real talk. Listen, people. It takes it. It's. You might think we're just sitting down and chatting, but it is. It's like a theater. It's like a show. It is actually a show. It's not just a show in name, but it does suck out some energy. It gives you energy. It takes energy. It's a show. It's actually a show. It's like the theater. Really is like the theater up in here. So I think it's important. That's why one of the reasons why I don't ride this thing till the wheels fall off. I cut it so that my guests have time to just deload and just unwind. And with that, even though there's other things I can talk about, I ain't gonna do it. Leave that till another day. And with that, I say, Leon Figures, much appreciation for spending some of your time with us here tonight on the
Peace out, Mr. Dawkins. Peace out.
Radio. Your final words, please. Your final words, Leon Figures. Final words.
It's been fun. Always enjoy it. Peace out to the chat. Peace out to the panelists. My favorite, the fight doctor, Mr. Kong. Always nice to share a panel with him, and of course yourself.
100%.
October, we got some good bouts. In October overall, we've got some good bouts to look forward to. I'm looking forward to October's fight schedule.
We're gonna get into that in the next show. We're gonna chop it up. We're gonna get deep. We're gonna get all up in it. And that was the Leon Figures coming here, chop it up with us tonight. And like I said, it does take something out of you. These live shows do take something out of you. It's like theater. You know what I'm saying? It's like theater. A lot of improvisation. We know the basic outline, but there's no script. There's no script, folks. Walking on a tightrope without no netting. You know what I mean? That takes some NRG. What we're saying here, we're saying great show as per usual. Stay safe. Blessed everyone. The Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio Nation. What's he saying? What's he saying? No, sir, I'm not mourning. Enough respect to Her Majesty. Forgive, but not forgotten. Our ancestors suffered to a highest degree because of the empire. So forgiven, but not forgotten. Absolutement. Absolutement. What's this? Junior versus Benn will definitely descend into chaos. What do you mean? In the ring? Out of the ring? I think the fight's going to go ahead. There's no doubt in my mind. No doubt in my mind. Canelo gets favorable scorecards. I call that robbery. Yeah, I'm not happy about it. I'm vexed. To this day, I'm vexed with that first decision against him. I thought the Triple G won that fight. Let's have a look. Yeah, if there was a bit more honest about it, I think it'd have been one each by now. And then that would have made it interesting. But, you know how they do. This is how they do. Okay? And what happened with Conor Benn? What happened with Conor Benn and Christopher Eubank Jr.?
Just what happened, and then there's
some funny stuff. There was some funny stuff. What can I share? Can I share?
It will take a miracle for Conor to
Ain't no miracle. Listen, you've got someone sitting there who'd rather fight YouTubers.
An act of God is what it would be if you.
An act of God is what it would take. An act of God is what it would take.
Okay. If you beat me,
Okay then. Be a man of your word then. You retire then. You're in for a shock of your life, you know?
You're in for the shock of your life. Do you realize that? Do you realize that? Do you realize that?
just what happened, and then there's. It will take a miracle for Conor to.
Ain't no miracle. Listen, you've got someone sitting there who'd
There ain't no miracle.
rather fight YouTubers.
An act of God is what it would be if you to beat me.
An act of God. That's a little bit much. An act of God.
Be a man of your word then. You retire then. You're in for a shock of your life.
In for a shock of your life, mate.
What you think? I'm gonna be a walk in the park?
I mean,
You think I'm going to be a walk in the park?
yeah, on a nice summer's day.
On a nice summer's day. And look at the expression on his face. Look at the expression on Conor Benn's.
Just what happened, and then there's.
Look at the expression on his face. It's hilarious. It was funny. It's not funny anymore because I lost the place. It's not funny anymore because I lost the place. But it was hilarious and it was funny. I got to be careful about the copyright issues. So let's come out of that. Let's come out of that. What's going on? Oh. What's going on? What's going on? Where's the music? Where's the music? Let's bring that out. Come out of that. Come out of that. What was the other one? What was the other one? Come out of that.
Without sex, I abstain.
Okay, let's have a listen to this. This was quite hilarious. This was quite funny for anybody who ain't seen it. Let's have a listen.
For 8 weeks.
How has it come to this? What are you talking about?
I'm gonna abstain for 2 weeks for you.
Conor, Chris Eubank Jr. I think let's go back in.
Usually I go 8 weeks without sex. I abstain for 8 weeks.
How has it come to this?
Usually I go 8 weeks without relations. Intimate relations is what Chris Eubank Jr. is saying. 8 weeks without intimate relations.
What are you talking about?
I'm gonna abstain for 2 weeks for you.
He's going to abstain for 2 weeks for Conor Benn.
You care. No one asks you about your sex drive and what gets you going.
Canelo Glovkin, he abstains for 8 weeks.
Often they get 8 weeks. Saunders, this is just my name. No.
Saunders gets 4 weeks.
This is not really talking rubbish, really. Saunders gets 4 weeks.
Saunders gets 4 weeks.
Conor Benn gets 2.
Conor Benn gets 2.
Jake Paul get 1 week.
Jake Paul get 1 week.
So you're not at the bottom of the barrel, but you're close.
You're not at the bottom of the barrel, but you are hella close. Hella close, my friend. Retention advice. OMG. And with that funny little segment there coming from the Eubank. With that funny segment there coming from the Eubank Jr., I think that's where we're going to leave it. We're going to wrap it up. It's on the 2-hour mark. We've gone way into overtime. And now it's time to deload. Raphie got to say good night to all of y'all. The Fight Doctor, the Leon Figures, the Iron Kong, our man in the Caribbean, and of course, where are we? Amara Woods for putting a bit of color in the comment section. You can too. You can do it too. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. And of course, everybody who came through, everybody who smashed that like button, everybody who commented. It's Raphael Dawkins. It's the Combat Radio. It's the like, it's the subscribe, it's the comments, it's the shares, it's the hitting the bell icon, stay updated with news and notification, and it's all of that stuff. Keep looking out. We're coming back with more lives, more videos, because there's more to talk about. Lots of stuff to talk about. Only scratched the surface tonight. But the Fight Doctor came with a different angle. It's interesting because we ended up seeing how wafer thin, just how wafer thin the Deontay Wilder resume is, and the Tyson Fury resume. It ain't super thick either. It's okay. It's okay. But anyway, we're out. Till next time. Blessed.